Hashtag Firegate. Los Angeles City Council? Los Angeles City Mayor? Are they all in on this? Governor of California, are they all in on this? Because it looks like they've got some real liability. Los Angeles Times has done a multi-piece expose, and we're calling it hashtag Firegate. It basically shows that they are now, city leadership, Los Angeles leadership is trying to scrub the records so that their liability is minimized. Firegate. Let's get into it. Here we go.
The LA Times just exposed a massive cover-up, Firegate, a deliberate effort to cover up the findings in the after-action report by changing the after-action report. This was deliberately and intentionally done to shield LA Fire Department, Mayor Bass, and her administration from the failures of the fires on January 7th. The type of changes that were made include the fact that the earlier fire on January 1 reignited on January 7th, and the fire department officers were ordered off the area. They deleted all of those references from the after-action report. This is an intentional cover-up to reduce accountability, the lack of transparency. The culture of corruption in the city of Los Angeles is despicable and is out of control. Mayor Bass and her administration and the leadership of the fire department should be held accountable. And it's certainly not fair to the hard-working men and women of the LA Fire Department that serve this city so greatly every day. Read the LA Times story, Sunday paper, the front section, and today's paper in the California section about the battalion chief who was upset that the changes were made.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. It's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get into it. Now, we've talked about this before. We've talked about the fact that, hey, on January 1st, there was a fire crew called out. There were fire officials out there, and they basically said, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, we're fine here. There's no need. And the actual fire crew that was out there, a state fire official was out there, and then didn't really, nothing really got done. Fire crew was told to leave. And then, 6 days later, January 7th, and we know that the fire started on January 1st, was arson. And city leadership is just like, oh yeah, you know what? We're good. We'll just brush this under. We'll just make this go away. It'll be fine. You guys don't need to cover this. You can go home. Sleep well. It's okay. You live in the Palisades. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Times investigation, Los Angeles Fire Department on Palisades fire was watered down. By watered down, that means I wouldn't say this is watered down. I would say that this is outright go in a different direction with the facts. How about that? How about we just erase some of the worst of the facts? If by that you mean watered, okay, all right, yeah. But I see what they're trying to do. Watered down, because there's no water in the fire hydrants. There's no water in the reservoir. There's no leadership. Mayor Bass was in, a foreign country, multiple time zones away. Times obtained 7 drafts of the LA Fire Department's after-action report in the Palisades fire. Deletions and revisions in the drafts amounted to an effort to downplay the failures of city and LA Fire Department leadership. Most significant edits involved the LA Fire Department's deployment decisions before the fire. Hey, you can have anybody standing by? We're okay. We're good. It's all right. As the wind warnings became increasingly dire, you already had a fire going. You had some embers going, and then you had massive winds coming. Mayor Bass got on a plane after she told everybody she wasn't going to do any more international travel. She traveled to Ghana. Where was it? Ghana? Straight up Ghana, I think. Africa. Because, Los Angeles leadership works hand in hand with Africa. No. She just wanted to be there as some new president, of some third world country was getting put in place. Greatest thing ever. For months after the Palisades fire, many who lost their homes eagerly awaited the LA Fire Department's after-action report. First draft was completed in August, and then the deletions and other changes began. #Firegate began. Behind closed doors and what amounted to an effort to downplay the failures of city and LA leadership. They've got to scrub this clean. And put in place new history. Oh, yeah. That's not how it went. It went like this. In preparing for and fighting the January 7th fire, because you had people screaming January 1st, nothing was really done. You had fire officials on site. You then said, oh, yeah, no, all good. It's fine. And then thousands and thousands and thousands of structures, 12 people killed. So there's a lot of liability. There's massive liability. So we're going to have to touch up some of the facts in order to reduce that liability. One instance, LA fire officials removed language saying that the decision not to fully staff up and pre-deploy all available crews and engines ahead of the extreme wind forecast did not align with the department's policy and procedures during red flag days. Why not? Then why not? You just got bad policy? You got terrible policy? Is this Los Angeles Fire Department's policy? We're going to watch this video for the 10,004th time because it's so good. But this is part of the culture that results in basically not doing their jobs, because you got a bunch of DEI hires. You got a mayor that's a straight up DEI hire, didn't earn it, not really capable. And you got a governor that just is trying to be president. Then he spends all of his time mocking Trump instead of running his own state. But let's watch this again. And this just kind of gives you that further indication of where things are in California's fire department policy making. Here we go.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. Which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
He got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. Does that not tell you everything you need to know? So that's you're a firefighter. You're a firefighter. Instead, the final report said the number of engine companies rolled out ahead of the fire went above and beyond the standard Los Angeles Fire Department pre-deployment matrix. I don't think so. Another deleted passage in the report said that some crews waited more than an hour for an assignment the day of the fire. Things are just going up in a blaze and crews are just sitting by idle. Hey, see it burning. We're going to go. This is go time. We're firefighters. This is go time. A section on failures was renamed primary challenges. Oh, that's great. I'm going to have to remember that. Hey, you failed. No, I had a primary challenge. Primary challenge. And an item saying that crews and leaders had violated national guidelines on how to avoid firefighter deaths and injuries. That part was scratched. Oh yeah, don't include that. Ugh, liability, not good. Other changes in the report, which was overseen by then interim fire chief Ronnie Villanueva, seemed similarly intended to soften its impact and burnish the fire department's image. Two drafts containing notes written in the margins, including a suggestion to replace the image on the cover page, which showed palm trees on fire against an orange sky, with a positive one, such as firefighters on the front line. Final report's cover displays the LA Fire Department seal. You're just trying to downplay what happened. Hey, let's soften the blow. Let's just, you're up here with your outrage. We need you down here. How can we get you from here to down here? Yeah, we're going to put the fire seal on the front of the report. The Times obtained 7 drafts of the reports. We got versions dated August 25th, August 6th, No names are attached to the edits. It's unclear if names are in the original documents. Deletions and revisions are likely to deepen concerns over the fire department's ability to acknowledge its mistakes before, during, and after the blaze, and in order to avoid repeating them in the future. Wow. I think you've got major leadership issues here, right? So, yeah, you got the January 7th, the 𝗥𝗚𝗧𝗛𝗠 fire started up again, indicating the captain's belief that the Palisades fire was caused by a reignition of the earlier blaze that they didn't fully put out. Oh, yeah, don't bring that up. I mean, that's problematic because could have put that fire out, wouldn't have reignited the big one, killed everybody. Do we have some liability? It looks that way. Reference deleted in one draft and restored in the public version, which otherwise contains only a brief mention of the previous fire. Yeah, don't emphasize that previous one that probably caused it all because we were supposed to deal with that and we really didn't. Some have said that the after-action report's failure to thoroughly examine the 𝗥𝗚𝗧𝗛 fire reignition was designed to shield leadership and Mayor Karen Bass' administration from criticism and accountability. Downplay the first fire because you were called out there and you didn't really do anything and you didn't handle it. So then when that reignited a week later, which it shouldn't have if you would have handled it correctly, then you put the two together. Oh, #Firegate. We've got Firegate. Weeks after the report's release, the Times reported that a battalion chief ordered firefighters to roll up their hoses and leave the burn area on January 2nd. Guys, go home. We're all good here. Nothing to see here. It's all fine. Oh, but, it's still smoldering and got some smoke coming off of it, and it's pretty hot. I mean, the ground's pretty hot over here. Chief, should we do something? Nah, it's okay. Battalion chief said, it's fine. It's fine. Just carry on. Even though they had complained that the ground was still smoldering, literally smoldering, and rocks remained hot to the touch. Another battalion chief assigned to LA Fire Department Risk Management Section knew about the complaints for months, but the department kept that information out of the after-action report. Liability. Oh, it's going to be a big lawsuit. These are going to be some big lawsuits. Can they make it stick? That's what we're talking about, right? That's why we've got #Firegate. After the Times report, Bass asked Villanueva to thoroughly investigate. Hey, can you investigate? Then can you come up with some ways that we can minimize our liability here? Because it ain't looking good. A full and understanding of the 𝗥𝗚𝗧𝗛 fire response is essential to an accurate accounting of what occurred during the January wildfire. This is from the mayor who wasn't there. She was on a jet, either going to or coming back, while she was warned, hey, got some big winds coming. Got some massive winds coming. Sure you want to be off in Africa? Wherever you were? That where you want to be? Is that where you should be? Oh, yeah, I'll be good. In a statement provided Saturday afternoon after this article was posted online, the LA Fire Department refused to answer detailed questions from the Times about the altered drafts, clearing queries about the material, about the reignition, and brought back, citing an ongoing federal court case. Ah, interesting. Already a court case? Shocker. Liability? Shocker. Federal prosecutors have charged a former Palisades resident with deliberately setting the 𝗥𝗚𝗧𝗛 fire. What's that look like? Florida man maliciously started Palisades fire, then tried to cover his tracks, authorities allege. And then what did authorities do? Well, the LA Times is alleging tried to cover up their liability. So, Jonathan Rickerneck, 29, accused of starting the initial fire on New Year's Day, then rekindled to become the Palisades fire. He was arrested Wednesday, and this was written back October 8th. Among the evidence collected from Rindernet's digital devices was a dystopian image he generated, ChatGPT, a burning city with people trying to flee. He's a firebug. He's an arsonist. Hey, here he is. Okay. Kids, don't play with lighters. Don't be this guy. Don't essentially kill dozen people. Burn thousands and thousands. 12,000 homes, something like that, burned to the ground. LA Fire Department response faces scrutiny. LA fire officials already under scrutiny for their failure to pre-deploy engines to the Palisades fire, now facing questions about why they didn't fully extinguish the flames from the initial fire before hurricane wind forces blew into the area and fanned an ember buried within the roots of dense vegetation. Why don't you guys put that out? You were there. You're basically told, guys, it's okay. Roll up your hoses. Let's go. It's Miller time. It's Miller time. This affidavit puts the responsibility in the fire department. So even back in October, October 8th is when this came out. We kind of knew, there's some hanky-panky here. There are shenanigans happening at LA. And we've known this. But LA Times, now let's talk about the LA Times for a second. They got bought by Dr. Whatever, soon somebody, can't really remember. And he's a scooch more conservative. He's like, hey, LA Times, all you writers, you guys have been writing a whole bunch of liberal stuff, all this stuff to the left. We need to move it more to the center. And even now and then, get guys like Scott Jennings in here for an editorial once in a while. Conservatives. Scott Jennings on ESPN. I mean, not ESPN. He probably has been. But CNN. Remember? Remember CNN? Remember when CNN was a thing? Actually had news content? I mean, have you guys seen CNN at all lately? Yeah, me neither. Well, anyway, LA Times, they're writing some good stuff. They've had some great reports. And remember during the presidential election, that last election, and they kind of followed suit with the Washington Post with Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos said, all right, now I got big and ripped and yoked, did a couple of cycles of steroids. I got my hottie, Lauren Sanchez. And remember her? Yeah. Anyway, he basically told the Washington Post, which he owns, we're not endorsing a candidate for president. LA Times did the same damn thing. And here they are writing on what appears to be a leadership issue in Los Angeles. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Mayor Bass, probably with direction from Gavin Newsom, because this is one of those issues. This is one of those issues that's going to come up and bite Gavin Newsom in the ass when it comes down to him running for president in the 2028 elections. Hey, what about Los Angeles's response to the fire? And you were there as well. And that whole LA Times thing where they exposed Firegate. What about that? I mean, that doesn't show that you have presidential leadership capabilities, does it? What's your response to that, Mr. Newsom? Oh, I'm handsome. Got hair. I'm handsome. I was completely okay with it, she said. All the things I read in the final report did not in any way cover up anything as far as I'm concerned. She reiterated her position that an examination of missteps, we're calling them missteps. When people die, there are missteps during the Lockman fire, did not belong in the after-action report, a view not shared by former LA fire officers interviewed by the Times. I mean, you've literally got the blind leading the blind here. Terrible. Final after-action report does not mention that a person called authorities to report seeing smoke in the area on January 3rd. Hey, still smoking. You know that fire you were out here, the one that was set by an arsonist, the one that you have in jail? Fire department has since provided conflicting information about how it responded to that call. Meaning they'd used their hands to feel for heat and dug out hot spots. Firefighters that returned to the burn area, but records showed that they cleared the call within 34 minutes. All good here. All good. There's nothing to see. It's all fine. It's good. It's all right. We're going to go check and see if there's any water in any of the fire hydrants. Oh, they didn't do that either because there wasn't. After an extensive investigation, the incident was determined to be a false alarm. Okay. All right. Yeah. Anyway. So you had all that happen, and there's a bunch more stuff that is in line there. The report made 42 recommendations ranging from establishing better communication channels to more training. What about having water in the reservoir? What about having water come out of the fire hydrants when the city's ablaze? What about having your leader, mayor, in the state? I mean, you don't have to be in the city necessarily, but what about the same time zone? What about, same time zone, right? So let's move on. Okay, so that is the first one. Here's the next one. Author of LA Fire Department Palisades Fire Report declined to endorse final version, called it highly unprofessional. This is your battalion chief, Chief Kenneth Cook, who wrote the after-action report in the Palisades Fire, declined to endorse the final version. Hey, you guys cooked the books on this bad boy. I ain't signing it. It's like having somebody look at your work, make a bunch of changes, and then say, hey, Chief, Battalion Chief, Kenneth Cook, we need you to sign off on this because you're the battalion chief. This is on you, buddy. It's on you. And he's like, no, it's not how it went down. Hashtag Firegate. In an email, Cook wrote that the current version appears highly unprofessional and inconsistent with our established standards. Oh, you mean you cooked the books with this report? Cook's email adds to growing evidence that city and Los Angeles Fire Department officials attempted to burnish the LA Fire Department's image in a report that should have been an honest assessment of the department's failings in preparing for and fighting the fire. Period. You know, you always hear people talk about transparency. We need more transparency up in here. And that when you really need it, the opposite happens, right? Yeah, that whole transparency thing, hey, let's just throw that out the window. We need to bring in a big eraser, erase the facts, because those facts layer on liability here. And we're trying to avoid any liability because liability means lawsuits and lawsuits mean money. Author of the LA Fire Department after-action report in the Palisades Fire declined to endorse it because of substantial deletions that altered his findings. That's not good. Battalion Chief Ken Cook emailed then interim Fire Chief Ronnie Villanueva and other LA officials with the subject line, Palisades AARR non-endorsement. Yep, not signing off on that bad boy. Having reviewed the revised current version submitted by your office, I must respectively decline to endorse it in its current form. The document has undergone substantial modifications and contains significant deletions of information that, in some instances, alter the conclusions originally presented. The books are cooked. Evidence being hidden. Now, so you know what's going to happen. City officials are going to come back and say, we're just trying to clarify and, for the whole idea of transparency, we're trying to make it as transparent as possible. Therefore, sometimes when you've got a video, you edit it down to the main points. That was what, who was it? CBS said when they edited Kamala Harris's video, where they basically took one point, put it on the end of a totally different point, and said, well, we're just editing for the sake of clarity and, editing. They were cutting and pasting. Here, we're just cutting. We're not even pasting. We're just cutting. That doesn't look good. This puts a lot of liability on us. Get that out of there. Maybe nobody will notice. Battalion Chief, what the F is going on here? What are you guys doing? No, I'm not signing it. F yourselves. Literally what he said. I am concerned that substantial disparities may exist between the two reports. All right, here's Newsom's spokesperson. The governor commissioned an independent review by the world's leading fire safety experts. Sounds like Trump. What's the world's leading fire safety experts? To ensure the public review receives a complete, accurate, and unvarnished accounting of the events leading up to the Palisades fire and how that's not what you gave the dude to sign. You gave him a botched up revised 10 Ways from Sunday, and he looked at it and went, no. Los Angeles Fire Department has refused to answer questions from the Times about the deletions and revisions. Maybe they won't notice. Maybe the public won't notice that this is going away. Oh, no, we noticed, and it's called Firegate. Sunday, Times reported Cook was upset. Times had disclosed the watering down of after-action report. Cook's October 8th email laying out his concerns. Cook's email reached Bass's office in mid-November. According to Bass spokesperson, Mayor has inquired with Chief Moore about the concerns. Battalion chief is pointing out concerns, Chief. What are we going to do here? Well, you can get your guy in line. Got to get your guy in line. This ain't looking good. Get your guy in line. I mean, we got liability. There's millions of dollars on the line. We ain't paying this out. We're not going to a court with this. We need this guy to sign off. This is what goes in the record. Attorneys are going to be like, on page 441 of the report, Los Angeles Fire Department policy was, right? Now what's going on? Said it had withheld Cook's email from its response to separate records request. LA Fire Department did not respond to a Times query. Bass's office also did not respond to a query because they're hoping that it just blows over. If you just wait long enough, maybe it'll go away. Sometimes they do, right? Sometimes these stories do, because there's not enough teeth digging into it to get traction and hold on. Gene Cameron, who lived in the Palisades for 50 years before his home burned down in the January 7th fire, was disturbed by the revisions, which he said amounted to a cover-up. So, is this a cover-up? Is this we were just trying to get to the truth of things? We were just trying to cut it down to something that appears more transparent because we're all about transparency, even though we're not in the right time zone when the incident happened? I appreciate his bravery to stand up against these unprofessional, immoral edits, he said of Cook, adding that the point of the report is not to assign blame, but to prevent future mistakes. Yeah, but in doing so, you are assigning blame. Let's be honest. I've said from the beginning, this is City Councilperson Tracy Park, Los Angeles Fire Department should not be investigating itself. Right? How about an outside agency comes in and writes this report? Hey, we need a disinterested third party to come in, take a little look-see what's going on, interview everybody, and then come up with a report. Instead, you got the fire department writing its own report. Hey, how much liability did you guys create? Not much. Honest engine. Boy Scouts honor. The whole thing is just July email thread reviewed by the Times shows concern over how the after-action report would be received, with the fire department forming a crisis management work group. Guys, got a crisis? Need to get a bunch of people together, create a work group, come up with some ways of, massaging the data so we don't have as much liability as we actually do, because boy, did we bumble this one. That's what it's looking like, right? It's looking like massive, massive bumble. One edit to the after-action report involved language stating that the decision to not fully staff up and pre-deploy all available crews and engines ahead of the extreme wind forecast did not align with the department's policy and procedures during red flags. Final report did not include that language, saying instead the number of engines rolled out ahead of the fire went above and beyond the standard pre-deployment matrix. They're standing by that one. Section on failures was renamed primary challenges. We're going over that again. I mean, the whole thing was botched. I think everybody recognized Los Angeles fires were wildly botched. There's a lot of liability. City officials have liability, and they are just trying to minimize their exposure. So, hashtag Firegate. Will this gain traction? I mean, with the speed at which homes are not being rebuilt in the Palisades, there's no way, shape, or form any of this shows positively for podcaster Newsom, wannabe presidential candidate 2028, Gavin Newsom. does not show positively, Karen Bass, does not show positively on the fire department itself, because you got one of your own at the top saying, hey, that's signing off on this. You guys cooked the books. Homie, don't play that game, right? And that's what you got going on. No, not signing it. You guys took out important stuff. It's not how it went down. How did it go down? Hashtag Firegate. To be continued. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, share with friends and family. I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks again for joining. Bye for now.